So, got it. So, no matter how awakened we get, shit still happens. But it's about the reactivity and the open state, keeping the heart open. And these classes work great too. So, let's step out of autopilot and come into presence right away. I think, I'm looking around the tiles a little, so many old friends there. Hi, everyone. And new ones. Looking at the different screens. Hi, good to be with you. So, one of the things, if you know me a little, that I talk about the most is like being present at all times, right? So often we have like the little yogi on the seat, waiting for the teaching and waiting for information, and then meditating, and we kind of want to collapse those together. So take a beautiful breath with me, and don't start anything. But yes, here indeed we practice the continuity of the knowing of being deliberately and lovingly. So feel that sweet resonance already. And by doing so, over time there is indeed a diminishing of negative mind states and a blossoming of positive mind states. And yet it doesn't take time. Awakening doesn't take time. It's like Lama Sui often talks about the ladder in Sochen lays flat on the ground. Yet the ladder hangs in space. There's no direction, right? So we still move along along the ranks, up or down. There is no up or down. Yet there's this, so like becoming realized while being realized. So feel that resonance of being right now. And we don't want to disconnect this spontaneous, luminous presence from just simply experiencing what it feels like to be you right now. So really just notice the beauty of all that you are on your seat right now. Feel that, so that not always trying to transcend everything that we are. It's ultimately going to be about integration. And we will do a bit of practice with that today if you wish to join me. And no matter how I guide, if you wish to do whatever it is you like to do, you do that. But there is some sweet resonance in the synchronous movement of the Sangha. And I feel so honored and happy to be allowed to kind of choreograph that. So thank you. Bow to all the beautiful Buddhas on your seats. So experience everything that you are right now, the whole body mind continuum, maybe a little nervous or a little sleepy for the early ones on the West Coast or whatever it feels like, but from a perspective of wide openness. The spacious freedom of the boundless Buddha mind on your seat. And then we always want to keep our minds as fresh as possible. So not holding on to any states. There's always a bit of dulling, and then oftentimes the lamas and Lama Suya calls out, "Bah!" Just like refresh. But I usually ask for a breath, a breath back into the body mind continuum. So it's the breaths to transcend dullness or grabbiness in your meditation as some form indeed of a soft bed, and for us to just stay in the flow of being. So on that note, how are you keeping your mind right now? And yet the heart of these teachings are compassion. And as you know, it is sad that in in these practices, Sochen, Mahamudra, and many other maybe non-dual traditions and beyond, um, enlightenment, awakening happens in one lifetime. I've even been in circles where they say that if you do the practices meticulously, 7 years. Wow, yet me too. So there's a tendency for us to kind of do the practice. Oh, I did my morning practice, I did a prayer, or whatever. So it feels like I did my thing. But yeah, it's about being awakened at all times and setting that intent. That's so important. More frequent and for longer duration. And there is no pure motivation. So you can just say it and go like, well, it doesn't feel that authentic. But just feel that. I wish to be awakened at all times, in every moment. Trust that you are closer than you think. And yet, you will never figure this out. You'll never get there through your head. You can only get there through your heart. And since I often guide deeper and deeper into presence, and then I like to take refuge from that present space, but I would like to do the refuge prayers already, so we can have some more time afterwards to really experiment with our hearts and minds. So, Nathan, my friend, who I see so many mornings, so nice to be with you again. Oh, I even hit the bell. May all beings possess happiness and the inner causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the inner causes of suffering. May all beings remain undivided from the sacred joy which is free from suffering. May all beings come to rest in great peace and equanimity, beyond attachment and aversion to friends, enemies, or strangers. Bless and empower us that our minds and hearts turn toward the Dharma. Bless and empower us that our Dharma practice becomes the path. Bless and empower us that the path truly dispels confusion. Bless and empower us that confusion itself dawns as primordial awareness. Bless and empower us that all difficult mind states dawn as primordial wisdom and compassion. And then page 1, please. And then we'll resonate a little. If you're not used to chanting or these chants, still hum along a bit. Habituate sounding your voice straight from compassion, straight from awareness itself. Habituating the mouth of nectar, the mouth of the Buddha. More and more, only the words of wake up, coming out of straight from our hearts. Orjin yulji nup jang tsum, be my gaze are dong pola, yatsun choki nu drup nye, be my jung ne jesu drak, gor du kandro mang pokor, Geki Jesu dar drupki, Jinji lapshir shek su sol, Guru pe mai sudi hung oma Oma hung benzar guru pe mai sudi hung 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 Oma hung benzar guru pe mai sudi hung. Notice how the hung resonates the heart. Oma hung benzar guru pe mai sudi hung. Oma hung benzar guru pe mai sudi hung. Wake up wherever you are. Oma hung benzar guru pe mai sudi hung. Oma hung benzar guru pe mai sudi hung. Om Ahung Benzagu Bemai Siri Hu. Om Ahung Benzagu Bemai Siri Hu. Please be the presence of spacious or empty, luminous, loving awareness knowingly right now. When I ask you, are you aware? Where do you go? When I ask you, who are you? Where do you go? So the first illusory step into samsara is I am. What do we mean when we say I am? What do we mean when we just say I? I awareness, beingness. I, the presence of awareness. I acknowledge the recognition of the knowing of my being lovingly. Semni Nelok Tokpa Jinji Laptu Soul. Please bless us that we may come to recognize the nature of mind, the natural state. And indeed setting our intent just taking the attention to look, and you've shifted out of ordinary mind into awakened mind. Spontaneously presencing self-sprung awareness, the stream of being. We indeed decide that we are interested in waking up from the dream of separation. This promise of turning towards awakening is so profound. Although it may not sound like a big deal, we come to realize that this is the most important thing for us. It's important to recognize that. This is my heart's longing. This is what I wish for the most in my life. The most interesting thing to me is exploring my true essence. And when exploring my true essence, I'm exploring the true essence of all beings. We wish to shed all the layers of inauthenticity and identity and habitual social conditioning and dive deeply into what is real. I want to come in contact with unprocessed, unveiled reality and live it now. In that process, we expose ourselves to a profound teacher. Not only a teacher like Lama Surya, but also the innate wisdom teacher within. So let's take a breath together and allow your wisdom heart to awaken. We remind ourselves why we are doing this practice, letting go of any limiting beliefs, and promise ourselves to allow the objective of this practice to be turned towards awakening, making every moment of our practice and lives count sincerely, vigilantly, truthfully towards that commitment. So by setting that intention, it's there, always intelligently saturating our awareness as an essential motivating basis. It's always there to remind us why we're doing this practice. And may the unfolding and blossoming of that realization be like planting compassionate spores in the mind streams of all beings, in this unified, interrelated ocean of awakened awareness space. Buddha mind, Christ consciousness, Dharmakaya, open, spacious, luminous presence. Spores that will eventually ripen into the elimination of all undesirable states and the prospering of all positive states and qualities. So that's why it's so important to set the intention so our practice is not purposeless. And then we invite around us the whole entourage of masters and awakened ones. We invite them around us in the space all around. All these enlightened beings who became fully awakened. Maybe you have a certain mentor or teacher in your life you feel particularly intimate with. Maybe Lama Surya, Dalai Lama, or any teacher of loved one in your own personal growth history. Just allow the space to be populated by thousands of enlightened ones. They all are so deeply delighted with your practice and embrace you. Imagine them looking upon you with kindness, offering you encouragement and support. Then in the presence of the masters, of the awakened ones, you make the request of what we would call the supporting stream of guidance. We ask them to directly intervene in our mind stream, removing all obscurations that might otherwise get in the way of our meditation, and activate all the positive qualities of mind, and implant the views that will result in the realizations along this path. And then realizing if the ladder is flat on the ground, I'm the master too. So have that exquisite perspective. What does it feel like to be enlightened? That is you. In the shimmering effervescence of awakened awareness, all the temporary mind fluctuations come and go. Yet pure being and knowing as the presence of awareness is ever present, all pervading our boundlessness of pure being, saturating the field of experience, shining the light of knowing on all things, and back upon itself. There it goes. Prior to thought and feelings and emotions, it goes. Aha! the recognition of beingness. And in that open spaciousness, we experience, wow, really? Love and peace are truly my essence? Or simply our truth as a birthright? How about that? But also, we have to open up to the tenderness of the human condition and not in some sweeping practice gesture do a bypass of all that we are in the world. And make sure we are not exposing ourselves to the inner ethical risk of overlooking our vulnerabilities and failing to honor our collective and individual psychological and emotional heritage, or karmic propensities, if you will. That's why I will invite you today to do a bit of co-arising mind, synchronous mind, where we stay in the view of open awakefulness and bring in a visualization. But for now, just be open and spacious. Feeling the collective of the Sangha around you, this family of compassionate intent. Lama Sangha, who wish to sit in this sympathetic resonance. No longer being hypnotized by stories of love not experienced, within or without. While primordial love is always shimmering within our hearts in its boundless potentiality. It is actually the cessation of love, the cessation of the search for love, which we all have experienced in our lives at one point when feeling in love, when we experience the total unification or merging with an intimate partner. When we experience this merging, the apparent separate identity or self is momentarily dissolved in this sweet intimate resonance. This suspension of the usual ordinary mind's habitual patterns we experience as love or happiness. This is the experience of awareness recognizing and adoring its own being within the eyes of another. But for the separate self, this timeless, changeless experience of love is mistakenly addressed to another or a beloved. And most times this causes the lover to experience love lust and forces the separate identity to go out into the world and find another other to fill the apparent pain and gap of mistaken separateness. We then, from our practice, realized this other lover was not the cause of the experience of the suspension of separateness and the blossoming of our hearts. And we come to recognize the beauty and innate goodness of our own hearts, and therefore the hearts of all beings. From there, we as yogis develop being illumined with love without preference. Only then we no longer need the light of another to awaken our innate happiness. Only then can we have a relationship that is based in the realization that we already are this love and happiness. We can then truly merge lovingly without needs, expectations, and attachments. Let's take another breath. And allow awareness to descend into the heart which is home. And aware from there. A sphere of awareness, not confined by your anatomy. And with your eyes open or closed, gaze into the surrounding open, empty space. The limitless empty space that saturates everything. And from the heart, mingle your awareness into the open space, and mingle the open space into your awareness. Now spacious awareness saturates everything. Notice that the space of awareness in its shimmering immediacy does not shift or change. It is invariable and not subject to time. Everything within arises and dissolves in time, but the space of presence does not. And in its ever-present immediacy, it's always accessible at any decibel level. Let's take another fresh mind breath together if you wish. Brighten the mind. Notice that awareness is without bound. Have awareness arise from the heart, come out of the eyes in the local sphere, apparent local sphere of awareness, and expand into all directions, shifting out of localized what about me mind to absolutely boundless, brilliant, alert, awakened mind. Limitless global awareness, universal consciousness, open-hearted awareness. No within, no without. Where can you be where we are not? Let go, sweet yogi. Awareness showing itself to itself. And then even unfold awareness from within the center or the localization or the meditator. Dissolve a mind that is everywhere, no periphery. And a heart that is boundless. Bright, lucid awareness, the vastness of the expanse of mind and heart without bounds. Like Lama Roger says, be even more aware, be even a lot more aware. Wide open awareness, panoramic gaze in all directions. Allow the child awareness to free itself and fall into the arms of boundless mother awareness. Awareness will keep opening to itself from within itself, as itself. Here is where we shift into freedom. Here we shift into excellence. No longer expressing our hearts and minds within the restraints of individual consciousness. Now in this wide open awakeful space, allow the co-arising mind to arise. So even though I ask you for a visualization, stay wide open. Don't allow the view of the wide expanse to diminish. Place your attention within your heart. Notice the tingle in your heart that is the origin of the wish for happiness, as all beings have in their hearts. For the awakening yogi perspective, this is realized as the wish for happiness for all beings. Allow that tingle to manifest at the heart of your heart as a white light, a pearl of light, maybe the size of your thumbnail. Pure and bright. Stay within the synchronous co-occurring perspective, the all-at-onceness, the wide open mind, and its playful creativity, yet not two. If you wish, you can place your hand on your heart and imagine your heart starting to shine bright with compassionate light, like the rays of the sun, shining in all directions. From a heart that now is so vast, it embraces all beings and bathes them in the light of your well wishes. Your heart and its compassionate rays are suspended in that vast radiant space, the clear light heart. Notice you can create and manifest that clear light heart against the expanse of infinite space, bright awareness, love space. Observe that the creative flow of mind does not veil the ground of awakening. We can hold the view of the infinite vast spacious openness, awareness space, and simultaneously free flow, loving heart light. Undistracted heartfulness shining and awakening all, simultaneously with no impediment, no restriction. A heart that spreads its wings free like an eagle within the vast openness of awakened awareness space. In that open space, nothing has seductive qualities or reactivity at all. In this freedom, the innate goodness of your heart finally free from its limiting beliefs. Set your hearts free, my friends. Set your hearts free. while your heart is so wide open, here is a few well wishes written by Lama Surya. May I and all beings be healed and whole again. May I be the source of healing for all sentient beings connected to me. May I and all beings walk in love, joy and peace. May I and all beings experience the beauty and wholeness of our own true nature. May I feel a connection to all other beings. May I and all beings know peace, and may I and all beings be peace. May I and all beings be free from the illusions that keep us bound. May I and all beings near and far, known and unknown, walk in beauty, clarity, truth, courage, and wisdom. Let's take a breath together. Let go of all visualizations. This radiant presence. May you be happy. May you be safe. And don't allow fear or any difficult mind state get in the way of your playful heart. Let's set the intent again to wake up more and more until we don't fall asleep again. So from that perspective, anyone that enters our realm, our heart says, what can I be for you? From this practice, it will start sharpening our metacognitive ability to detect where our mind is, caught in thought, feelings, emotions, regular awareness, awakened awareness. So let's promise this together right now, that frequently during the day we'll ask, how am I keeping my mind right now? How aware am I? the more we ask ourselves, where am I expressing my life from right now? From my awakened heart or from distraction? And the more we do this, an interesting thing happens. If you keep looking frequently, it starts shifting towards awakening by itself. As Lama Surya says, the more we walk the path of Dharma, it's like the thermals will lift our wings. The thermals of the compassionate Dharma. So all it takes is the intention to look, and you already have shifted out of ordinary mind. Yet we love our ordinary mind too. It becomes just a unique expression of the Buddha in the world, the Buddha that you are. And on behalf of all beings, I thank you for your beautiful practice, and I bow to that Buddha. Thank you so much. Nathan, can we see the closing prayers, please? Gevadi nurdudak zokpachepo drupgyurnye dovachikyang malupa dei sala gopar shuk. Through this virtue, may we swiftly realize and fully embody the natural great perfection, and ever bring all, without exception, to its complete realization. Yangchup semchok rinpoche bakye nang kye gyurchik kye parnyampa mipadyang gong ne gong du pelwa shuk. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. Nathan, let's do Nyingshul Khenpo's prayer above it, since I saw it go by, I can't deny it. Through the merit of this, may the light of the Buddha's precious teaching remain for ages to come, the ground for every single kind of benefit and happiness. May all the supreme holders of the teachings who uphold its living truth accept to live for eons and their lotus feet stand firm. And so may the sun of altruism and well-being in all its blazing splendor shine the brilliant light of the study and practice of Buddha Dharma throughout every corner of the universe. That was Nyingshul Khenpo, who was Lama Surya's heart teacher. May all beings everywhere, with whom we are inseparably interconnected, and who want and need the same as we do, may they be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, safe and free. May there be peace and harmony in this world, and an end to war and violence, poverty and hunger, inequality and oppression, greed and cruelty, pandemics, famine, drought, earthquakes, all kinds of natural disasters, and floods in Florida. May all be free from fear, harm, danger, anxiety, and insecurity. May we better prepare ourselves for the natural calamities that beset us all. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey, one beloved community, one circle, one family, all the way home. Thank you so much for your beautiful practice.
Thank you so much, Timo. If anyone has a question, you can feel free to hop into the chat, or you can raise your hand using the reactions, or old-fashioned raise your hand, and I'll try to spot you out of the gallery to unmute you.
So thank you, Glenda. Love without preference. We already are this love without needs and expectations and attachments. Thank you. And Leo, you asked me in a private chat, who or what is the Om chant you were playing? It's on YouTube. See if I can call it up and just paste it in here. No, that would be too much movement for now. Here, I'll put my email address here, and anybody. It's just a YouTube, but there are so many of them. But this one is particularly nice, I agree. Okay, that's my email address. and you can contact me for anything you wish, within your practice needs or practices. If I fit into that, I gladly am there for you. I would like to know if you were able to. Oh, Glenda, I would like to know if were able to keep the simultaneous perspective. That's something that we can practice. That I've been practicing. I'm sitting here as your fellow yogi, and that's where I'm kind of playing right now. So not just transcending what we are, but then bringing it back and being able to visualize and uh, and not lose the view.
Right. But before I come on that, though, Timo, I really got to say something here. Is that intention? I thought I had the intention to wake up, but then I realized, what the hell was I doing about it? And I realized meditation is the key for me, daily meditation. And then that's when Debbie Zimmerman was in a breakout group at Lama Surya Das Retreat. She said, you all have a group that meditates daily there, that you had set up this group. And I'm just here to say it, and it's free, everybody. It's every day, 8 o'clock Pacific time, but I'm Eastern time. But the point is, in the beginning, I would fall asleep because it's an hour. I'd be asleep, then I'd kind of go, okay. But that's part of the process, is to be aware of what my mind was doing. And then just bringing it back. Oh, this is so huge. The sky gazing and bringing the thoughts come up. I'm talking to the choir here, I'm sure. But the point is, until I committed to daily meditation, then it all builds on itself. Then the uncovering of my hidden hates and secret sins, whatever you want to call them, my judgments would show up. Because before, Lama Surya Das would say, can you love the things you hate? And I go, yeah. Yeah, no. So really, honesty develops, genuineness develops, uncovering develops, where you get your heart. Finally, it'll open, but it keeps opening because I still was hanging on to attachments and aversions, but mainly attachments to loved ones. I don't want to go on and on, but this unfolds where your heart just opens. And it's so beautiful, to the Buddha you are. And because you want everybody else to wake up too. That's the other big deal. I never really thought about even faking it while you make it. I didn't believe I wanted everybody else to be happy.
That's
What
right.
did that mean? Right? Well, yeah, I do. Now I do. Before I said the words, these prayers, I'm telling you, these chants and prayers in Lama Surya's prayer book, it's unbelievable. So thank you, Timo. That was so beautiful.
Thank you, Glenda. So yeah, so the faking it while you make it. Actually, I was corrected by Lama once, where I said, just faking it until I make it," and he went, faking it while you make it. Get it? That's like a huge shift, right there. And then the intent. The intent is important, because this is like the practice of non-doing. So then when we try to shift into, like, when we say brighten the mind, or even wider perspective, open, there's quickly a tendency to push a little bit, like reaching, and not big enough or whatever. So all we do, instead of like doing something, the intent is the inspiration for the non-doing doing, right? So you just let the intent arise, more boundless, just for a moment, just that shimmer, and then let go into that. Just let go. There's nothing to be done. But intent is not doing. Intent is just the inspiration, right? So that's what I've been playing with. I'm getting some private messages from people that are saying that we're able to hold the synchronous mind. So play with that a bit in your practice. It's where we habituate ourselves to be present in our lives, with the view, holding the view, being folded into beingness and profundity and wisdom, while expressing ourselves, even when we're a little irritated or whatever. But then there, there are all these transformations, right? Then anger turns into fierce compassion, and nervousness becomes deep care, etc. That's
Timo,
it.
thank you so much. This has been so wonderful.
Thank you, Nathan.
We are at the time here. And so just wanted to let everybody know we have popped into the chat information on the advanced retreat registration link masterclass coming up with Lama Surya on the 15th of this month. And Timo, thank you so much again. Thank you all for joining here.
Can you put the link to the morning thing in there?
Oh yes, and I believe Deb, do
Is-
you have the link to the morning group?
You're welcome, Dory.
Deb will pop the link into the chat for the Timo's Daily group, which I
If you
highly
have-
recommend. It's been wonderful for me.
You got my email address. You can also ask me. Thank you for coming. It's not a small thing at all. Come visit some morning, 8 a.m. early on the West Coast, in the middle of your day on the East. Come and play. We got people coming in from Berlin and faraway places. Love you. Thank you.